Your Gmail is an ATM. You just don't know how to use it yet. So I'll tell you how I used my Gmail to get clients that had a lifetime value going from $10,000 to $50,000 per client by being their content operator. Now this works with any kind of business model as long as you provide services online. But I'm gonna tell you where I found them, how much I made with each of them, what free tools I used with my Gmail, and how you can force them to reply positively, of course. First of all, I have to tell you that if you're thinking of scraping leads on tools like Apollo, where everybody scrape their leads, then you're a cock. You can't expect to get the same leads as everyone else and get positive replies from them. It's like being the 254th guy in the Tinder DMs of a 10 out of 10. So you need to build your ATM with the right leads. And right now I'm gonna show you on my screen where I got the leads I contacted with my Gmail. Okay, so the first client that I closed with Gmail was a red pill creator with 600K subscribers. I found him on YouTube by typing the keywords red pill because at the time it was trendy with Andrew Tate and all. And the lifetime value ended up being 29K, right? It started with a 750 payment and then it turned into 29K, so which is pretty cool. The tool I used to reach out to him was hunter.io, which is a free tool you can plug your Gmail to create email campaigns, add the leads, and then run those campaigns with email sequences. I'm gonna show it to you. Basically, the most important thing was the leads and the email sequences, right? That's what the sequence looked like. By the way, the funny thing here is that I used the last video titles of the creators I was talking to, which means I didn't know what was the subject because it was a placeholder. I would just copy and paste or tell my VAs to copy and paste the video title. And so in this case, the video title was "Wife Keeps Disrespecting Me." So that was pretty funny because that was the start of the email. Hi, just had the pleasure to watch Wife Keeps Disrespecting Me. It was really on the mark, but still, it worked. And then the email is just me showing how I can help. And then the most important thing was the follow-up because that's where he replied, right? And it was basically a summary of the first email. So that was it. Then we followed up the conversation on Gmail. So this is the first email, follow-up. He replied and asked for my rate. Then I showed my rate. And then he asked for a sample. I sent a sample. And then that was the deal. As you can see here, 750 USD. And I sent the Stripe link. And then it ended up being this payment here. And then boom, we just talked and started working together. Now the second client I got with Gmail was a corn star. He was #1 on Y videos at the time. Now, I'm not proud of this. May Allah forgive him for his sins. But he was very chill, very intelligent, and well-spoken. And I even bought one of his programs. Actually, he used the traffic generated here to drive them to his programs, which were like how to cure erectile dysfunction, how to get your member hard. And the one that I was interested in was about Sex Tao, which is a way to transmute your energy and use it productively because I didn't have the other problems, right? The lifetime value ended up being around 5K, but then he recommended me to other people. So that was the interesting thing. And the tools I used was basically Gmail, and then we quickly switched to Telegram. So the conversation was here. So yeah, that was a quick conversation, but then we ended up talking through Telegram. And yeah, keep in mind, I knew him from YouTube, not from this platform here, because he was doing videos about productivity, and I knew him from other creators. So that was it for this one. The third one I got through Gmail was a copywriting coach with 10K subscribers. Not a lot of subscribers, but he had a big client base, a big email list. And I bought one of his programs for 1.5K, right? Which was about copywriting. And the lifetime value with him ended up being 15K. So the payments were done through crypto, which is basically a 10x return because I bought the program like 2 years earlier, and then 2 years after he ended up being a client. And again, the conversation was pretty simple with him, and then we switched straight to Telegram to have an easier time talking, right? So that was it. Fourth one was a fitness creator with 400K subs on YouTube. I watched him for years, so I knew his stories, and that's what I used to talk to him. That was the angle, and that's something you should use. Actually, your next clients are basically hidden in plain sight. You look at them, but you don't see them, because that's how I got them. And you have an unfair advantage. If you've been watching someone or if you've been buying courses from someone, you have this unfair advantage, but not all the other marketers can use. So the lifetime value with him ended up being 6.7K, and the tools I used was not Telegram actually, just Gmail, and then we talked over WhatsApp when he was a client. So that's obviously, and these were the payments here that I got with him. And then this guy here recommended me because of the service that was great and got him great results. He recommended me to another fitness creator which had 300K subs, or not even, was like at 250 at the time. And the thing is, the referral wasn't enough, right? He just talked to him about us, but then I sent an email, just as a ping, a reminder. And that's where the conversation started. And this guy was watching him for some time, not a lot of time. I knew a bit of his stories because I could watch his videos, and he was a friend of this creator here, which made everything easier, of course. The lifetime value ended up being 26K over time. So it was part Stripe and parts on Wise. And the tool I used for that was just Gmail, a simple message. A simple message coupled with great service. So that was it for all the clients I got through Gmail. Then I chose to scale because, with Gmail, you're quite limited. So I created an address, which was my domain name, the domain name of my content operator business. I hired a team of VAs to scrape those leads on the platforms. So for example, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. And I had those email sequences that were sent and on which I iterated to write the best copy. But I started with the ones with who I had an unfair advantage. And the thing is, the unfair advantage isn't just something you have when you get started and then you lose it. You actually build your unfair advantage. For example, as you can see here, I work with 2 fitness creators. And so then that's how I ended up being the go-to guy in the fitness niche, because I was creating content. The skill was the same. Whether you create content for real estate, for fitness, for another industry, doesn't matter. The thing is, people perceive you as the guy who knows how to serve them in their specific niche, in their specific problems, because you have industry knowledge, you have domain-specific knowledge, which means I knew what content to create for people who are into fitness, and I knew what products to create later down the line because we were content operators. We weren't just creating content, we evolved into building the whole infrastructure that would convert those views, those audiences into clients. And so that's how I built on my unfair advantage over and over again until it becomes easy to close anyone in that niche. Now, what made those clients reply to me? The thing that forced them to reply wasn't how great the copy was. It was because of 2 underrated aspects. As you just saw here, I talked to leads who I had experience with, even if they didn't know about me. I either bought their courses, watched their content, or knew their stories. And that's the unfair advantage that I had over all the other agencies, marketers, and people who were reaching out to them. Now, the second aspect that made them reply positively to me was trends. I basically surfed on a trend. At the time, it was short form content. Everybody was aware of that and thought they needed it. Because here's the thing with trends. Everybody thinks they need to implement them. And so this is a great way to get in contact with people because they're already sold, they're already aware of the solution, they haven't implemented yet. Then your goal is to lead them to whatever solution you're providing as long as they need it. Now, short form content isn't so trendy anymore. What's trendy now is AI agents. So if you can find an angle where your solution uses some kind of AI agents or whatever trend is coming, then you've got a good hook. And as you can see, this was an operation I only needed to build once, and it allowed me to sell the same thing over and over again. If you want to start building yours today and start turning what's in your head into profits, join Content Operators. See you in the trenches.